Today, we are going to talk about how one of the Cedar proprietary framework can bring in a holistic approach and be of value add to core banking programs. Cedar has been part of multiple large scale transformations, and based on our experience, often the execution team is putting all its effort in completing the tasks planned. And if these are not managed or planned well beforehand, it can only be considered as a pathway to chaos. Core banking transformations include multiple major milestones across work streams over the course of its duration. At these junctures, and especially while initiating a major milestone, it is important for the working and the steering committee to take a step back, get a 30,000 feet view or a bird's eye view to check what is the objective in hand, what is its readiness, and how to plan for initiating or completing this milestone. While there are multiple ways to do this, one of the very effective framework that is used is the RAPID framework. RAPID is an abbreviation for resources, application, processes, infrastructure, and data. These are the five critical areas which are important to look at from a readiness perspective. This is a Cedar proprietary framework and is considered as comprehensive and gives a holistic view of the objective in hand. Let me try and explain this with an example. One of the important milestones in any core banking transformation is initiating the user acceptance testing, which is called the UAT. Let us say UAT is about 60 to 90 days ahead of us, and the project management office should plan for UAT to be initiated on time and without compromising on the scope. What is the best way to do it? As I mentioned, Rapid is one of those ways to do it. It helps the program management office to develop a checklist or a set of actions for each of those five areas of Rapid, along with the action owner and the target date, and track its completion so that the readiness can be assessed over the next 60 to 90 days. When the list of actions are represented in the form of a dashboard along with the red, amber, green, what we call it as a RAG status, the team who is working towards it will have a good representation of what are the activities that are completed and what are those areas that require special focus for fast tracking. Now, what are those actions around each of those areas that can be tracked with respect to the example that we are talking about, which is the initiation of the UAT? For example, with respect to resources, have all the resources, that is the testers in this case, per module, been sufficiently allocated? Have all the resources been briefed about the approach for UAT cycles? Have all the resources been briefed about their roles and responsibilities for UAT cycles? With respect to application or the software, let's say there are about 20 modules that are part of the scope of user acceptance testing. Have all the 20 out of 20 modules been delivered for testing? Who is responsible for it? And what is the target date? Has the delivered modules, as per the scope of UAT cycle, been tested in what precedes the UAT cycle is the system integration testing or the SIT? Have all these modules been tested in the SIT as per the exit criteria? Now, coming to the process, has the UAT strategy document, which is most important part of UAT, been developed and signed off by all the users? Has the test cases been completed, verified, and signed off by the business users? Has the UAT run plan been developed and signed off? Each of these actions again have its action owner and the target date. Now, coming to the infrastructure part of it, is the UAT environment being prepared along with the latest application loaded onto the environment? Has the latest parameters and the access matrix been loaded on the UAT environment? Has the subsystems or the surround systems which are applicable for user acceptance testing, has been made available. With respect to the data, has the mock run associated with the UAT cycle been completed, verified, and signed off? Has the financial values which has been reconciled been signed off within the acceptable limits? Now, these are some of the examples of the checklist. And the checklist, in order to make it comprehensive, can be anywhere between 20 to 30 items. It is not advisable to go beyond that because it becomes hard for tracking. But as I mentioned, the objective is to get a 30,000 feet view of the milestone that needs to be initiated or achieved. So, these actions form a comprehensive checklist giving a holistic view of what needs to be done in terms of preparing for the milestone, which is UAT initiation in this example. This framework is a very versatile framework and can be used at multiple juncture, whether it is validating the readiness of UAT or validating the readiness of mock run, if it is the validating the completion of mock run or the dress rehearsal or even go live for that matter. Considering the holistic view that it brings in, it becomes quicker and easier for the program management office, for the working committee, or for the steering committee to take a decision on where do we stand now and what is it that requires special focus.